Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3. This is the oiling and rebuilding of the FPC from start to finish with a function check. Here we go. We are going to start with the head of the bolt. We are going to put our extractor back in by getting our extractor spring. Put it in there. Our extractor, lay it in there, it's fairly easy. Get your extractor pin, retaining pin, push it in. Actually push it all the way in there so I know it's there. We're going to get our firing pin spring and the firing pin. There's a channel in the firing pin that has to face the spring or the retaining pin hole, because that's what holds us in there. So if you're shooting a gun, that is going to have to face to your right. So I'm going to put it in there, nice and easy. Press it, get my firing pin, retaining pin, put it in there, push down. This bolt's all completely done. And if I want to oil it, which you should, these raised areas, I am very generous with the oil, do not care. The very bottom, I put some there, put some in the channels. In the face of these, because that's where it's going to fit on the other bolt, or the back half of the bolt. Leave it here. Back half, there's little raised areas here. That's where I put oil. Again, I'm very generous, do not care. Wherever there's metal to metal, or I believe metal to metal contact, it's getting some. Inside here, where I'm going to slip the bolt together, put some on the head there. Wherever there's metal to metal contact, that's where I put it. So we're going to leave that there for a minute. Let's work on this. We are going to get our buffer tube, and I need my extractor. That is going to go back inside here, just like this, with the widest part to the front. Whoops. Don't drop it. You're going to put it in there, the widest part to the front. It's going to fit just like that. There is a cutout right here that this is going to go on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the top of this, take our screws out for a minute so we don't lose any. Top of our receiver, it has a cutout right here for that extractor to fit. Just like that, it'll press in there. Everything will be nice and tight. So the next thing you want to do is just kind of bring this over. I'm going to put it right here for a second. But what I want to do is put in the barrel latch. This is when you unfold it and it connects it. There is a tip of that little spring right there will fit inside that little divot. So if you want to do it the hard way, don't do it this way. If you want an easy way, you're going to put it on like this. I'm going to line those two up, because you got to line that divot up. I'm going to take my barrel screw, push it in there, and I can feel the tension on it. So what I'm going to do is just leave that there, put this right on there, and I'm going to feel that seat in the very bottom there. There's another cutout that a divot's going to go into, and there you go. You got a nice fitting. So let me take this back out again. I'm going to hold that right there. Right here, there you go. You can see that little cutout. There's this piece right there. It's going to fit in that. So again, I'm going to put this back on there. I will open it. There, I just felt it seat. And there we go. We are good. That will keep that one really good. I am going to put in the bottom screw just so we don't have any issues with that, because it will happen. you don't hold this together, that spring in there will pop out. It's not really a big deal, but it will cause you problems. And we want to avoid that. I just put it in there to where it's seated. We'll call it good. I'm going to put in my screws. Need to be careful with these. I dropped one. Here it is. And let me get my screwdriver. We'll get these set in there. They're not set all that hard. Again, I treat it much like a tire. I do these in an X pattern just because it's plastic and I want things to be good. So I'll do an X and then a cross in the middle. I might have to loosen these up a tad bit. I'm just putting them in there snug, nothing hard. I'll recheck them in a little bit. I just want all this to go back together. And then I'm gonna take my barrel, put my barrel piece in there. The other barrels, I call it screws. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna pick this up. Get this other screw in the bottom. Put it back on my stand. These ones here, when I took it apart, were not all that tight. They were fairly snug. That was about it. There we go. Pretty easy peasy. I'm just making sure all this works. It's good, it's not sticky, it's not overly tight, it's just good. So, let me move my gun stand. In case you guys are wondering, lock grips is where I got these. It's the Canic one, works great for this. So before we do anything else, I'm gonna put my charging handle on first. All the way to the back, you'll feel it go down, push it forward. Let's work on our bolt. Put my bolt together here, just like that. Take the gun, point down. Flat part of the bolt goes to the bottom of the gun. And put it in. I'm going to align this hole in the buffer with that hole in the bolt. Put this pin right back in. Seat it. We're good. Then I'm gonna grab buffer spring, put it in there, buffer plug. Make sure these holes are to the right and left, to the sides of the gun. Buffer pin, make sure it fits in there, nice and solid. And we will grab our buttstock, put it in there. I'm gonna press down on the gun and then let that seat. It is that simple. So let's do a function check. Everything feels good to me. Take the safety off. We know it's empty. All I'm doing is letting the trigger reset and all that good stuff. It is good. Put the safety back on. I'm gonna do one final wipe. I'm not wiping the bolt at all. I don't care. I want that oil to stay there everywhere I touched. And it doesn't hurt. I will actually put a little bit more oil on the face of this Doesn't matter, I don't care where it goes. No such thing as too much oil, it'll just come out. We're done. That was the extent of the rebuild. It is fairly that easy. If you have any questions, post them below. Get a hold of me. I'll put my contact info. I'll put whatever tools are needed. I think most of you can figure that out, but there you go. It's that simple. Going by the timing here, looks like 10 minutes I was done. And that includes talking to you. If I wasn't talking to you, probably 7-8 minutes I could have been done. You guys have a good night.